Alright guys, so today we're going to take a look at the brand new Skullcandy Rail ANC. Now I want to start this video with saying up to this point, Skullcandy hasn't been very impressive when it comes to their true wireless earbuds. And being a huge fan of Skullcandy in the past, at least with their over-the-ear headphones, and they actually had some good wired earbuds back in the day, I've always kind of expected them to do something impressive with true wireless earbuds. They just fit that market very well. And honestly, they really haven't. It's just been very disappointing or underwhelming when it comes to their earbuds. But when I saw the Rail ANC, it at least caught my attention because they're labeling this as their flagship earbud. It comes in retailing at $99 and it has active noise canceling. It says that it's future-proof and it has some pretty decent features. So it caught my attention. But again, because it was Skullcandy, I've kind of just overlooked it for a little while. But I finally decided to pick them up. And I can say that this is probably their most interesting pair of earbuds yet. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what comes inside the box, see how they sound, and see if they actually could be worth the $99 price tag. So to start with, it is a stem style design earbud. The stem is about the size of the AirPod Pros, so it's not one of those like really long, obnoxious stems. I really do actually like the design of these. I'm not normally a fan of stem style design, but I do like the transparent look that it has on the inside. The case, for the most part, is pretty generic. It has a glossy top, so that does attract fingerprints. The case is a Qi wireless charging case, which I was very happy with. And this does work with Skullcandy's app. Now, this is what allows you to keep these updated. It also has a slider for your noise canceling and for your transparency mode, so you can control how much you want it to block out and how much you want it to let in. It also has multi-point pairing, so you can connect to more than one device at a time. It also works with Tile, which this is something that pretty much all Skullcandy earbuds do, so it's very easy to locate the last place that you use these. There are a few different pre-built EQ options. You have music, which is like the default mode. There's a bass boost mode and a podcast mode. And the bass boost mode does what it says it does. It boosts the bass. The podcast mode is going to bump up the mids, which is bringing out dialogue a little bit more. You can also customize the EQ settings you want if you don't want to use their pre-built ones. And you can also switch around some controls in the app if you'd like. But out of the box, you do get control over everything, which is definitely a plus. And then there's also Skull IQ. Basically, this is the name of the app, but this is also Skullcandy's own smart assistant. You know, it's kind of like you have Siri or you have Alexa. You can have Skull IQ by saying Skullcandy, and then you can have it just open up Spotify. You can have it actually take a photo on your phone just by using voice commands. So there's several different things that you can do within here, so that's also a nice touch. But let's go ahead and talk about the noise canceling and the transparency mode. I do want to say that if you're going into these wanting like, you know, top of the line noise canceling, they don't have that. I think they have basically $100 pair of earbud noise canceling, which means it does, you know, a pretty decent job and actually a good job at blocking out lower tones. But if people are going to be around you talking, all of that's still going to come in pretty clear as though it would just any pair of earbuds. But just for traveling, blocking out engine noises and AC units and all of that stuff, it does a good job here. And the transparency mode, I was actually pretty surprised here. It sounds fairly natural. It doesn't sound like the mics are too sensitive, so it's not picking up a lot of digital noise. So they do a good job here. And if you are going to use these outdoors, they come in with an IPX4 rating, which really just means as far as rain and sweat and splashes and things like that, it'll be able to block that out. But these aren't a pair that you would want to drop into water. Now, as far as what all they've included in the box, you get your usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips, and it comes with this very tiny USB-C cable to charge them. But like I said at the beginning of the video, you can just drop the case on any wireless charger, and you can just charge it up that way. And speaking of the charging, battery life I was also very impressed with. If you're going to use these with the noise canceling on, you can get about 7 hours on the earbuds and about 27 hours using the case. But if you decide to use these with the noise canceling off, you can squeeze about 10 hours out of the earbuds and 38 hours using the case. And if you do just happen to take the earbuds out and they're dead, these do have a fast charging feature where a 10-minute charge will get you 2 hours of use. So that's nice that they have these crammed into this. And also, if you're going to use this pair for taking phone calls, I think the mics, for the most part, are pretty decent. It's using 4 microphones total, and I felt like it picked up my voice okay. And I also thought that it did a pretty decent job of blocking out my surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here's the mic test using the Skullcandy Rail ANC. And as you can tell, I think it does a fairly good job of picking up my voice. But this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here's the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. Now this has been pretty much to this point where Skullcandy has fell flat, but in this pair, they're using a very powerful 12mm driver in both of these earbuds, and it's dynamic. It does not hold back in the low end, which as a Skullcandy product, you really shouldn't do that. I don't think anybody goes into Skullcandy wanting, flat or reference style, just no bass. That's kind of been the direction companies like this and Razer have taken, which I do appreciate them bringing out the clarity more. But I don't think you need to give up that fan base that you built your company on. You built Skullcandy off having this overly aggressive low end, which this pair definitely has, but it didn't hold back on the treble or the mids. It still allows these to come out. It definitely sounds like everything is pretty well separated. It doesn't sound like it's just this one powerful dynamic driver just thumping out all the bass and just letting it roll over the mids and the highs. Because the mids on these, I felt like vocalists, whether it be male or female vocalists, had no issue standing out. Treble on these are nice and clean. Now, it's not, bright or harsh or anything like that, but what they did with the bass was kind of what Soundcore does with theirs. The bass has a lot of space. There's a lot of air into it. So it seems like the earbuds are giving it room to breathe. And again, I think that's what allows the mids and the treble to stand out. So when it comes to the Soundstage and the sound imaging, this also lends very well to that, because it sounds like you're in a much larger environment. And with this pair, I had no issues with being able to tell where everything was coming from. So if I'm going to grade this across the board with all the different genres, if you mainly listen to pop and hip hop, these are a 10. I think this is definitely what these are geared towards. Even with rock and metal, it was a great pair to check out. Again, being able to feel the drums just adds to that. So I give them an 8 here. When it comes to easy listening, this is probably, going to be not what these are aimed for, so I gave them a 7 here. Now with media, I really enjoyed using these because that bass allows you to feel explosions, and I think the mids allow you to hear dialogue pretty clearly, and it can keep up with it fairly well because these have Bluetooth 5.2, so I gave them an 8. And then my overall rating is a solid 8, and I was not expecting to give these score that high. I went in with very low expectations, and the Skullcandy Rail ANC just kind of surpassed all of my expectations. So really, to sum these up, this is easily Skullcandy's best earbuds yet. And as far as just earbuds in general, it honestly could be one of the best $100 pair of earbuds that you can get. I mean, it's just feature-wise offering a lot. The app is very good, but the sound punches well above its $100 price tag. Now, when it comes to noise canceling, again, don't expect it to compete with the Sony, the Bose, or the AirPod Pros. It does not compete here, but sound-wise, it competes with every single one of those. So I don't know what Skullcandy did. I know they packed a pretty powerful driver into these, and I feel like they're really trying to get the most out of it. So yeah, I definitely recommend these for anybody just looking for some of the best sound for $100, especially if you like that Harman curve and you like bass that's aggressive, but not bass that's just going to destroy everything else. So Skullcandy, this is definitely the right direction to go into. But guys, that wraps up my video on the Skullcandy Rail ANC. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.